Ever since I heard this whole story that President John Trump is planning to invade Nigeria because of the killings of the Christians, I've also been tapped by some few brothers and sisters on my TikTok page, Adams. I told you that I was going to get into this very issue and discuss as best as I can. So let me say thank you to all those of you also following me on TikTok. I'm grateful for the beautiful messages that you've been sending. Now, this very thing about Nigeria, US, I seem to agree that the land must be cleansed as far as killings, are concerned. But the question that I'm asking the US government is, do they truly believe in Christianity? Or they are doing it for other reasons known to them? We all agree that the entire nation called Nigeria is a crime scene. Killings upon killings. Just a few days ago, someone sent me a video, and let me take this as an opportunity to tell those of you who have access to my number, as well as the Hawk number, that do not send such videos. Honestly, I'm not happy about it. This video that was sent to me has to do with a very beautiful, lady who was tied to a tree, and the girl was begging. And these guys, they just took a knife, and immediately I saw that thing, I decided to delete it. Unfortunately, the next scene that came was the lifeless body of the girl. So quickly I deleted it. That was something that I had to do it fast, because the last time I watched something similar like that, for so many months, I couldn't, sleep. And this happened in Nigeria. The guys who were doing that were Nigerians. And the person was telling me that this is the video that I should look at. Please, so I blocked that number. I don't want bloody videos like that. I'm not that type of person. And even YouTube will not allow for such a video to go. And in my right senses, that is not the way I want people to be remembered. So please, those videos, do not send it to me. If you have access to me, my private number, do not do that. I'll block you, as I've done with someone. And also the Hawk number that we provided, do not do that. If you want to send pieces of evidence and information, you can do that based on certain pieces of info that you have, but not a bloody video like that. Nigeria is a crime scene, and this happened in Nigeria. So I do agree that the land must be cleansed. The land must be cleansed. That I do agree. But I'm asking President Trump a question: that is US truly a nation full of Christians? Right at your backyard in the States, George Floyd was attacked. A very useless human being knelt on his neck, and the guy said he couldn't breathe. And what happened? He died. What happened to that officer? I don't even want to mention his name. Was that a Christian life? The people that you call illegal immigrants, what happened to them? You arrested them and sent some of them to, places that they don't even know. And others, you said you have to send them home to go and then help their government so that they can also build their country. And these people, some of them were married. You had to take their husbands, form the family. I watched some of the videos and it was very, very sad. Is that a Christian life? Look at Sudan. The Ghanaian government has sent some items to them. So if truly you want to protect Christians, why don't you start at, because the Bible says that love thy neighbor as thyself. And like I've been saying, the American nation is not a country for only Caucasians or Chinese. It's a country for all and sundry, especially those who went through slavery. So there's nothing like someone being an illegal immigrant, because our ancestors built America. Our ancestors were the very people that you people used. So if you call yourself a Christian, I'm wondering why all those beautiful people in your country, they are facing racism. Why wouldn't you deal with those people? And you are flying all the way to Africa to come and cleanse the land because of jihadist group and all those people, or whatever you call them. I agree. that Nigeria must be cleansed. That I agree 100%. But one point again that I also want to make is that the Chinese have also issued a statement saying that if the US decides to invade, they will also defend Nigeria. They've warned the American, people. So these two countries, I believe they are going to use Africa or Nigeria as a testing ground for their whatever weapons. But in any case, you cannot blame these two countries. Like some Nigerian vloggers have been saying now, what is there to even protect? Because those resources in Nigeria, the people are not benefiting. And this is where I seem to have issues with some of the vloggers and journalists who come online to talk about Ghana, Nigeria, instead of spending time to look at how you can protect your own citizens. You are not doing that. You are there comparing Ghana to Nigeria or Nigeria to Ghana. I do not understand. Right at your backyard, look at what or how weak your politicians are, how weak your leaders are. What are you doing to protect the innocent people? I saw a report from a US official who said that the only thing that the Nigerian journalists report on are the very things that are given to them by the government. Is it true? You cannot take your government on. This video, I showed it the last time, I'm going to repeat it. Deborah, she was a Christian, isn't it? She was murdered because she only made a statement that this group is meant for us to study, not to discuss religious related matters. And he said that whatever thing that she said against Muhammad was blasphemy, and they killed her, burnt her alive. You can see. And interestingly, the young guys who did that were able to show those things that they used to burn her on camera. What happened to these guys? So I agree 100% that the land must be cleansed. But this call, should it come from US? Where is AU? Where is ECOWAS? This is the more reason why these useless organizations, you have to take them off. Because if this is happening in Nigeria, and we have an organization called AU, African Union, we have ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, then why should we have US come in? Are you not ashamed that you call yourself a journalist in that part of the country, that you are not able to take your leaders on? And are you not ashamed as a leader in Nigeria that these things are happening? I ask that question again. That thing that those Muslims did to that young girl, what happened to those boys? And interesting, these religions are all borrowed religions. From Islam to Christianity or whatever. What is the African religion? We've been made to understand everything that comes from Africa is demonic and evil. And in the long run, our continent is going to be used as testing ground for new weapons. In the past, when we had ECOMOG, that was how the Liberian Civil War was solved. And they had to dissolve it because they thought we were going to use them for other things. Now ECOWAS, AU. So it's about time we take some, things very seriously. And you see, this thing that is happening in Nigeria, the truth of the matter is that there's more to it. If it has to do with killing of Christians and other, religious bodies are killed every day, every night. So I will tell you that the killings going on in Nigeria is not only Christians, other nationals, other religious groups too are being affected. So for me, if President Trump believes to be a Christian, then those immigrants in US that he's chasing day in and day out, he should leave them, because the Bible says, love your neighbor as thyself. How many Christians, how many blacks, how many people have been executed, killed, that no one answered for it in the States? We are leaving all these things behind to come to the shores of Africa because we are weak. We have weak leadership. That is why. So you being a journalist in Nigeria, a blogger in Nigeria, you being a politician, these are the things that you need to push and talk about how your resources can be used to your advantage, instead of comparing your country to Ghana